Hi, this is the last in our series of lectures in preparation for the Stewardship and Governance exam. You must have used a lot of bandwidth and got very bored in watching all of this. I thank you for your attention. And I'm starting to now get the emails about what we should concentrate on and all the rest of that. And please forgive me for being less than communicative about this. It's not a question that I enjoy, simply because it might give one or other student an advantage in a exam if I make any comments. So take it what I'm going to say now as to what I would say to any student in preparation for this exam. So here are some tips and pointers. My standard answer is it's a 3-hour paper. There are 8 questions. You have to answer 6 of them. So that gives you a chance to discard any 2 that you are uncomfortable with. I will set 7 of the questions and Letitia has set 1. Now, very importantly, you've got 3 hours to do 6 questions. You've got 45 minutes per question. And here is a statistical fact. If you don't try and answer all 6 questions, you're going to do yourself in. It's no use to score 80% on 3 questions, you're going to fail. I want an attempt at all 6 questions. So you've got to divide it up into 45-minute slots and have a go at every one. Please, no matter how good you are at 3 or 4 of them, statistically it doesn't work to just do 3 or 4 and think that you're going to pass the paper out of sympathy because you did 3 or 4 correctly. You have to get a broad basis of coverage. So you eliminate the 2 you're uncomfortable with and you have a go at 6 of them. Now, I've done a lot of new videos. I've done this predominantly to try and improve what you've got on before and hopefully make them more user-friendly. It's not necessarily indicative of what is going to be in the paper. The entire syllabus is in the paper. I've just tried to help you along a bit by hopefully doing a better job of it. I don't know, I haven't got any feedback from you. If you found these videos useful, please let me know. Right, so you do not have to have a comprehensive knowledge of all the different tax allowances. You'll remember that we spent quite a lot of time chatting about them, and in the latest video I've put out, I've said, look, you would, if you were using specialist allowances in tax, delegate that down to a subcommittee or to a specialist. You wouldn't seek to do that as an MBA from the general skills that you would get within an MBA. So what we are saying in tax is that we are looking at tax management rather than tax knowledge and how a director would deal with it and delegate it down from the board. That's what's important. Right, you will have a 10-minute reading time at the beginning. That's important for identifying which 6 questions you're going to use. Now here's a trick. You then rank the 6 questions from easiest to most difficult. Deal with the easiest ones first. It makes you feel a little bit more confident and you will score marks more quickly by dealing with the easiest questions that you like. It's a very big thing to have a confidence factor in what you're doing. Where people try and deal with their most difficult questions, they get themselves on an all-time downer and collapse before half the paper is even done. So what I would suggest is that on your easiest questions, maybe don't go to 45 minutes, try and deal with them in 40 minutes, giving yourself a little bit extra time to deal with the hardest questions at the end of the paper. That's good exam technique. Exams work on the basis of float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Always when you invigilate exams, you see people out there to write as much as they possibly can. And they scribble all over the place and they make the most terrible hornet's nest of their scripts. Now, bottom line first, remember I've got to read this stuff. And I don't want to have to go looking for marks. So if you see a script which has just got writing all over one page, no paragraphs, a lousy pen, and all sorts of other stuff that we've seen over many years, that makes you less sympathetic as a marker. It can affect what you're doing. So what you do is you say, my brain can work quickly, my hands can't. My limited factor in writing an exam is that I can't write fast enough. So, I want to make 1 point, write 1 line about it, score the point, and move on and score another point. That is the best technique to use. So you write 1, maximum 2 lines at a time, leaving an empty line between the 2. Score a point, move on, get on with the paper. Don't think that you will pass an exam simply on word count alone. That doesn't really help. Next, it's an open book exam, so you can bring all your notes, whatever books you've got, and whatever computers you've got into the classroom. Don't look at that as being an advantage. Too often we see people coming in with loads and loads of material, and all that they're doing is spending vast amounts of time in running to their books and their computers to find extra stuff and score extra points. You've got a limited factor in a paper, you've got to write. So what you need to do is to have your PowerPoints handy from the lectures and go and use the bullet points from the PowerPoints to answer your questions. Going and finding huge long quotes and everything else, you're not going to get a mark or 2 from them, and you're going to use a hell of a lot of time writing them out. Not going to help. I'm not requiring you to make any extensive calculations in the exam, so you don't need to worry about that if you're not a number person. Right, now here's the good news. Most of you already have a good mark for your assignments. I was impressed by them, thank you very much. You also have good class marks. So you're on a winning streak already. You don't have to score 60-70% to pass the exam, so don't let that fluster you. You're going to pass this course. So very important then is, don't spend till 3 o'clock in the morning the night before the exam studying. You will only leave yourself very tired and not able to concentrate for 3 hours. Then you won't finish the paper, and that will have a big adverse effect on what you're doing. So get some sleep the night before. If you want, go out and have a drink. Don't get pissed, but relax, okay? Have a proper breakfast before you come to an exam so that your sugar levels are right through the exam. Don't rely too much on Red Bull and other stuff that spikes your sugar levels, because that puts your brain all over the place. Other than that, thank you for your attention in these classes. I've enjoyed this year's presentations.